So the program that was funded was sort of generally all our mental health case management services. What we realize is that individuals living in our communities are often in an isolated setting, rural settings where they're far from a local community. And with the pandemic, further isolation has occurred. Transportation is an issue, public transportation is an issue. So finding a way to have people access care without having to leave their homes was essential. What the United Way was able to do was fund us to provide tablets and laptop equipment directly to our clients so they could still meet with their caseworkers and get that mental health care and support they may need. So it's pretty neat because this goes across really all of our sort of unique client services, from our justice programming to our general case management to our housing services. What we're really looking to target isn't necessarily even one specific program. It's all the clients we serve that might experience higher rates of isolation, a more vulnerable population. The United Way's helped us by helping us move forward and target an even more vulnerable population during the pandemic. Well, I think it's really evident in the fact that we're starting to provide mental health care for those that may need it the most. And we talk about sort of mentally healthy communities. Mentally healthy communities are productive communities, they're strong communities. If we can sort of have mental wellness for all, it helps the entire community thrive. And so, again, we see sort of more presence in sort of outward productivity for all. Well, just like this grant's allowed us to do, while we still do face-to-face visits on an as-needed basis, it's done with a lot of safety precautions in mind, proper PPE, proper social distancing, and sort of limited to where necessary. What we've been able to do with this grant is meet with people virtually and meet them where they're at, so it ensures the safety of both staff and client to be well. What we've learned is, well, one is that we have a community that's very resilient, that can adapt on the fly, and that's really encouraging to us. What we've also learned is how to deliver services safely. We've learned that we can reach even more people. We'd never done something like this before, met with people sort of using platforms like Zoom. We'd never have been able to have the technology to be able to have our clients meet with us by Zoom. This pandemic has actually allowed us to provide service in a brand new way, which, you know what, coming out of the pandemic, we very much would hope to continue to meet as many people as possible, the most effective way possible. It's neat I get to be called an expert. I like
Yeah.
that. That's a good question. Priorities, I would say, would be again, sort of being able to meet people where they are.
Okay.
You know, the accessibility and ease of accessibility is important, especially for someone experiencing a mental health concern. If it's a complicated process to access care, that's an additional barrier that person's gonna face. What we want to sort of focus on is removing any and all barriers that would discourage a person from reaching out for mental health care. And this, again, is just one more barrier we've taken down by making sure that wherever you're located, you will still have the ability to meet with your caseworker on a regular basis. Well, again, measurability and quantifying what we do is pretty simple. We ask all our caseworkers to keep routine and regular case notes, again, recording the duration and number of visits they have with each client. So those numbers are always readily available. And again, we've seen those numbers change through COVID, but again, by adapting the way we service deliver, we can still meet people and meet their needs as necessary. It means that there would be less of a disruption in service, which is always probably the most important thing, is to make sure that even with the pandemic, you're still going to get the mental health care that you very well may require. And we're going to do everything in our power to make sure we do so. And again, with the Support United Way, we're able to do that. So the program that was funded is essentially our health promotion and education support. So we do a lot of public ed in the community throughout the 4 counties that we serve. And a lot of our public ed, because we can't do it in person anymore, requires virtual support. As a result, some people might be able to afford to take the courses or sign up for a session, but they don't have the technology to actually take it. So they're halfway there, but they can't get all the way there. What we're able to do now is ensure that, hey, if you can sign up for this course, we can actually provide you with a loaner laptop or a loaner tablet that wherever you're located, you can take this course. We can't have them in person anymore, but we can give you every opportunity to take the public education you might need to take care of yours or another's mental health and wellness. So I think a big part of what public ed does is it targets what we call primary prevention. In mental health care, so often we focus on either intervention or postvention, intervening when there's a person actively unwell, or providing postventive care, sort of wraparound care for when an issue or critical incident has already happened. What primary prevention sort of does is says, let's start to target a population before they're actively unwell or experiencing symptomology. And if we can build skills and resiliency, then if things do become unwell, they can get well faster. So we can teach skills like virtual mental health first aid. We can teach skills like resiliency and stress management and mental health enhancement and understanding mental health, all these courses that build knowledge and understanding of how to take care of your own mental health before anything is necessarily wrong or before anything is the person's necessarily struggling. It's primary prevention in a more expanded way. This program, and again, I would have to say I'm biased as the program manager for our public ed, I will be strongly biased to a primary prevention model, but it benefits our community in the sense that it's going to reduce potentially and hopefully reduce the amount of times that people need to actively reach out for intervention and post-ventitive supports. And again, you think about things like emergency room visits or crisis calls or emergency outreach sort of police visits. If we have people that are accessing care before they reach that point, those instances may never happen. So start again to reduce for the community the cost to the community of sort of the intensive intervention or post-ventitive care. With public ed, I can tell you, Maddie, I thought I'd miss a live audience like I do.
Yeah.
I haven't, and my health promoter hasn't been in front of a live audience in months. And as a result, we've had to deliver our public ed virtually. This means that we've had to learn, again, using new virtual platforms, new methods of teaching, new ways to deliver materials. But I think, again, we've been able to do that over the last year and still reach a pretty wide audience with a lot of really strong messaging. I've learned, and I'll tell you this, if you asked me a year ago, 2 years ago, do I think people would really be interested in taking virtual education? I probably would have said no. Would have said no, people want to get it in person. And was I ever wrong? And I don't take pride in saying that I was wrong, but was I ever wrong? That people are really willing to do it and they really enjoy the idea of the comfort of their own home or when they're able or somewhere where they can learn in private, they'll take sessions that in our numbers and our return. It's actually helped us expand our reach even to a new population that maybe wouldn't come out and take a training, but they'll take it on their phone, on their tablet, or on their laptop. For priorities, again, it's just what we're doing is trying to target people that maybe want this education but can't access it. And again, that's why we're so thankful to partner with United Way, Kawartha Lakes to help us sort of have the funds and the resources to equip people in our community with the virtual equipment to attend these courses. So making sure, again, this is things we all know, that we're living in a community that has a lot of isolated rural pockets. You know, people think of Kawartha Lakes and they think of Lindsay, and a lot of us do, but then they forget that, oh yeah, there's Woodville, there's Cameron, there's Cambrai, these little pockets that it's not walking distance to get into to the Lindsay building. It's not walking distance to come into the health unit. It's a drive. And if I don't have a vehicle, how do I take these courses? With this technology, now you can. Much the same as we'd collect stats with our client services, we collect stats with our public education and sort of reflect back how many people each year take sessions. You know, when we do our overall public education across all the counties we serve over 6,000 people a year. And with this opportunity to expand into virtual education, that number is growing even larger. So this is actually pretty exciting for my team that we get to meet and see even more people. What it means for our clients, again, is that if it is someone, and that's really the beauty of our public ed, is they don't even have to be a formal client. Anybody can take So when I think of clients of public ed, I think of anybody interested in learning about mental health. And I think what it means is there's even a larger opportunity to sort of get connected, to learn about mental health education, how I can care for myself, and how I can provide direction and support to another person experiencing mental distress. I mean, I would just want to send my sincere thanks to Penny, yourself, the whole team of United Way. You guys have been such a major supporter of our branch and mental health service provision in the community. We're thankful that we've been able to partner for so many years, and I look forward to many years in the future of working together and providing mental health care to all of Kawartha Lakes.